Hello everyone. In this video, we discuss three forecasting methods that are appropriate to time series with horizontal pattern, such as the simple moving average, weighted moving average, and exponential smoothing. Basically, a horizontal pattern exists when the data fluctuate around a constant mean. To illustrate a time series with horizontal pattern, using this 12-week time series of sales, it is illustrated on the graph on the right side. As we can see, the data points just move randomly with respect to its mean or to its average. If we're going to compute for the average of this time series, it is equal to the average or the mean of this time series is 19.42. To show this on the graph, we can add a trend line of the data. A trend line is supposed to show an upward or downward shift in the direction of the time series. But for this case, there is none, since the time series is pretty much horizontal by nature. So the trend line now will represent the mean of the time series, which is 19.42. And now we're going to compute a 4-week simple moving average using this 12-week time series. In doing that, we need 4 historical data points in order to generate a forecast for the next period. When a new data comes in, the oldest data will be removed to maintain a 4-week moving average. So our first forecast will be on the 5th week. So we need to take the average of the 4 most recent data points. In Microsoft Excel, we can either manually generate the formula or pull in a built-in function. And for this case, we're going to use the average function. So for our forecast, for our first forecast for the 5th week is so the forecast for the 5th week is 20. To generate the forecast for the next periods, we simply hold, click, and drag this part of cell C6 to copy paste the formula on for the next periods. The autofill function of Microsoft Excel will automatically adjust the reference cell in calculating the average for the forecast for the next period, such as for the period of the 6th week, it took the average of the 4 most recent data, which is the 5th week down to the 2nd week. And same as true for the next periods. And to make a forecast for the 13th week, we simply copy paste this formula on the next row. So our forecast for the 13th week is 19.75. And also on the graph, we can now see the 4-week moving average versus the actual data. And on the graph, we can now see the forecast of a 4-week moving average versus the actual time series. The gap between the forecast and the actual data is known as the forecast error. And now we're going to compute the accuracy of the 4-week moving average using MAD or the mean absolute deviation. Mean absolute deviation is simply the average of the absolute values of the errors. To compute for the MAD, first we're going to compute the errors of each forecast. The calculation of the mean absolute deviation only includes where there is a pair of actual data and the forecast. To calculate for the error, it is equal to the difference between the actual data minus the forecast. The error could be a positive or a negative number, since the forecast may be above or below the actual data. And again, copying this formula, to calculate for the other errors, we simply copy the formula of this first error. Next is we're going to compute for the absolute value of each of the errors. So Microsoft Excel has a built-in absolute value function. So that's equal to ABS, or the absolute value of any number. And the mean absolute deviation is simply the average of the absolute deviations. So the MAD for this set of data is 2.41. The lower the value of the MAD, or the mean absolute deviation, is an indicator that the forecasting technique being used is able to capture the data generating process of the time series and producing a good forecast. The next forecasting technique I'm going to show you is a weighted moving average. A weighted moving average uses weights to put more emphasis on the recent periods, and it is given by this formula. If we're going to perform a 4-week moving average, weighted moving average, we're going to apply the following weight scheme. We're going to use the weights 4, 3, 2, 1, where 4 is assigned to the most recent data, 3 on the next recent data, down to 1 to the oldest data, divided by the sum of the weights, in which the sum is equal to 10. Again, we'll be needing 4 historical data points to produce the first forecast on week 5. So for this case, we'll be manually generating the formula for a 4-week weighted moving average. So for our first forecast on the 5th week, this is equal to the most recent data, 23. We multiply that by 4, plus the next data, 19. Multiply that by 3, plus the next is 21. Multiply that by 2, plus the oldest data. Multiply that by 1, divided by the sum of the weights, which is equal to 10. And the forecast for week 5 is 20.80. Again, copying this formula to the next periods and making our forecast on the 13th period. So our forecast for 13th week will be 19.5. And to calculate the MAD of a 4-week weighted moving average, the corresponding MAD of a 4-week weighted moving average is 2.53. This time, we're going to compute the forecast using exponential smoothing. Exponential smoothing is a type of a moving average in which the new forecast is equal to the last period's forecast plus alpha times the difference between the actual and the last period's forecast, given by this formula, where alpha is a value between 0 to 1, known as the smoothing constant. The idea of the exponential smoothing is very simple, which is the new estimate is equal to the old estimate plus a fraction of error in the last period. The formula f sub t plus 1 is equal to f sub t plus alpha times y sub t minus f sub t can be simplified using alpha y sub t plus 1 minus alpha times f sub t. The two formula will generate the same value. For this case, we're going to compare the forecast using two values of alpha. Alpha equal to 0.2 and alpha equal to 0.5. The computation of forecast of exponential smoothing using alpha equal to 0.2. Therefore, the simplified formula will become 0.2 times y sub t plus 0.8 times f sub t. So the sales will be the y sub t, or the actual values, and the column of the forecast will be equal to f sub t. To begin with, the forecast will start on the second period, wherein our forecast is equal to the last period's actual data, which is 17. And on the third week, where we apply the formula. So our forecast for the third week is equal to the alpha 0.2 times the actual value of the last period, 21, plus 1 minus alpha, or 0.8, of the last period's forecast, which is 17. And our forecast for the third week will be 17.8. And now we can copy and paste to make the forecast for the next period and make a forecast for week 13. So our forecast for week 13 is 19.31. For alpha equal to 0.5, again doing the same calculation, and doing the same calculation for alpha equal to 0.5. So for week 2, the last period's actual data is the forecast for this period. And for the third week, our alpha is equal to 0.5 times the last period's actual data plus 1 minus alpha, or 1 minus 0.5, that's 0.5, times the last period's forecast, which is 17. So that's equal to 19. And we copy this formula for the next period's forecast. So our forecast for the week 13 is 19.81. And if we're going to compare the accuracy of each forecast using different values of alpha, we're going to compute their corresponding MAD. The MAD for alpha equal to 0.2 is equal to 2.43. Doing the same for alpha is equal to 0.5. the MAD of alpha is equal to 0.5 is 2.65. So for this case, we can say that the forecast for alpha is equal to 0.2 is a better forecasting technique for this set of data, since it has a lower mean absolute deviation. Generally, among the forecasting techniques, there is no much superior method over the other. For the given time series, the idea is to make a trial forecast and compute their corresponding forecast accuracy. And the one with the lower MAD is the most appropriate forecasting technique. Same is true for other measures of forecast accuracy, such as the mean squared error and the mean absolute percentage error.